What's happening, guys? My name is OTG and I'm hoping that you are ready for some intense drama here at the Yas Marina circuit in Abu Dhabi for episode number episode number 17 of Davilo's journey. 50% as promised, and you know what, I'm going to be kind to you. 50% Abu Dhabi, 50% Austin, Texas next episode as well. But you might be looking at the length and thinking, hey, he normally does 6 minutes. Well, 25% is 6 minutes, 50% is 12 minutes, around about 12 minutes, and 100% probably going to be about a bit longer than that, but that's because there's a lot of drama. But we qualified in a nice solid 15th position thanks to Sergio's classy driving in the Sauber. Going into the first corner, some carbon fibre going flying as the Force India collides with the Sauber. Then you see Jenson Button getting a little bit early, which compromises his drive. Davilo can't get his car turned quick enough, forcing Button to lose some of his front wing. Then Romain Grosjean's there and he just dives up the inside, but it actually works beautifully now, battling with Massa, and Massa's been forced off the track, almost loses the rear end, pushing Massa off the track. No worries there though, because obviously we do know that at the end of this episode, Ferrari said, or the end of this race weekend, sorry, not episode, because this is real Formula 1. God, oh, you're so stupid. This is real Formula 1. It's so God. But yeah, they will be announcing and offering a contract to one of the drivers who are questioned. It's been narrowed down to Felipe Massa and Sergio Davilo, as Sergio proving why he deserves a job, pushing himself into 4th position by getting a double overtake up into the first chicane, sort of second chicane thing. But here we go, lap 5, first pit stop. Lap 5, yeah, really sums up these option tyres. So I'm going to try and be on these option tyres as little as possible. That's why I saved the large amount of prime tyres for this race, because I knew that they would be the more effective tyre, because they would actually last more than 5 laps, which, well, if you think about it, around about 30 laps, 5, it's not enough really, is it? It's not good enough, these tyres. They're not going to survive. And we're on 1 minus lap of fuel because we was pushing the boat out to gain as much of a gap as possible. But obviously you can't gain that much of a gap when you're in a Sauber compared to racing against like a McLaren or a Mercedes or a Ferrari or Red Bull, Lotus. Them sort of cars are a lot faster. But we're on lap 6 and I haven't cut the footage because we are coming up to Vitaly Bottas, the man who replaced Sergio. He cuts the corner a little bit, giving a compromising exit. Bottas has got the better exit, but now using all of the remaining curves that he has at his service, using the DRS now. Is he going to gain enough gap? Well, it looks like the Williams is a bit too far away for him, but he brakes a little bit later, decides last minute, let's go for the move. Bottas has to dodge him, hits the curb there, and then Bottas gets the inside line, but Davilo does get the better exit out of the two now, going around the outside on the marbles. Only has DRS now. They're pretty much matching in pace. He's using curves, he's using DRS. It's very even as they go into the end of the second DRS zone, and we skip now to lap 7 when the rest of the cars will be entering the pits. That really sums it up. The AI are fantastic at holding their tyres, but Sergio, using these prime tyres, has actually done a fantastic job and kept 4th position in front of Romain Grosjean, now skipping to lap 10. There's some feisty cars behind him, including the man who replaced him at Lotus. He gets replaced a lot, Sergio. Hopefully he'll be replacing someone at Ferrari if he gets a job offer. Battling side by side now with Romain Grosjean, trying to do the thing where he gets a better exit, but Romain Grosjean seems to have snatched the place away from him. He will have DRS at his disposal as he goes for it now, and this could be one of the most intense moments of his career. The man who took his position, he needs to gain it back off him. He breaks later into the corner, he keeps it on the marbles, but he runs a little bit wide, cutting the corner there to keep himself from hitting Romain Grosjean. And Romain Grosjean looking to line up a pass maybe on the next few corners or the next DRS zone. If Grosjean can keep at least 1 second behind, he's a lot faster than the Sauber, but for some reason, in fact no, he does get past the Sauber boy. I don't know how. It must have been some form of editing error, but it must have been something that happened. But Romain Grosjean did in fact get past, and Nico Hülkenberg is now the man behind him, edited in 5th position. It's teammate versus teammate. Look at them tyres, absolutely destroyed. And that really sums up this race for you. Abu Dhabi tyre wear. I love the track, and as you said, you guys were crazy. Like, do Abu Dhabi 50%, do it 100%. I was going to do 100%, but I couldn't do that because I'm not mental and I don't have the time. As then we spin and hit the curb into the pit lane, and then here comes a car. This is the thing that annoys me. We shouldn't be ghosted, and the car then just zips through us without even acknowledging us. That really annoys me. It's just the fact that we've hit a wall and they've restarted us. I mean, I could have kept going. If I'm going to lose some end plate, they can just replace it. I mean, there's no real issue there. So lap 13 going on 14, we're behind the behind the Force India of Adrian Sutil now coming out of this pit. We hit it better. I remember in qualifying and practice, we were doing that pit lane. I was practicing it to try and get it right. We was doing well, but when you're on cold tyres, it's a little bit more different when you're just coming in and going out on nice tyres that have been warmed to a good temperature. At the optimal fuel now, lap 14, as we see here, we have got the McLaren of Jenson Button ahead of us, so this could be interesting. McLaren, obviously a very fast car now, looking up the inside of him. We do indeed get the move as Button moves out the way to give himself a better exit, but they're now side by side using curves. They both probably have DRS because Button was about 1 second to Sutil, but now DRS is in use, hogging the slipstream of the McLaren, and the Brit of Jenson Button now going around the outside, going to be taking the racing line, but Button doesn't seem to be anywhere near him, and he can cleanly take the racing line. So Davilo is the man to indeed split the two British drivers in Paul di Resta and Jenson Button and clinch a singular point on Button's outlap. Sadly though, he has lost a position to Jenson Button, Paul di Resta, to that horrible pit stop. And I did say at the time it was Adrian Sutil. It is indeed Paul di Resta. Now, exiting the pits was his teammate Nico Hülkenberg, cutting the corner there because he doesn't really trust his tyres, and I don't blame him now. Having a quick bit of a nudge there on Hülkenberg, who's a little bit slow because he's on cold tyres, but he does in fact let him past. He could have gone full throttle, but he didn't. Now Hülkenberg is past. He uses the rest of his curves, Sergio. Well, almost, maybe an eighth of it not used. Then he uses DRS. He goes up the inside, very risky, not much of a gap there. He takes it just for the racing line, but he has so much more speed than his teammate. But he does go a little bit wide, and that is giving him a great chance of getting back at him now, back into the standard fuel mixture. Hülkenberg's behind him, battling for 7th position, the two Saubers, and possibly battling for the #1 driver's seat next year. So that'll be very interesting indeed. If Hülkenberg even has a seat, that'll be very interesting to see if Hülkenberg is still at the team, or if Davilo's still at the team. Are they going to go for a new outlet? Will Esteban Gutierrez be given a second chance? He holds the position there, but lap 7, Felipe Massa, the Ferrari man, he's trying to steal the job. His best friend in the paddock. Them two get on like chalk and cheese. They are just completely perfect for each other. They're having a nice little bromance, a Brazilian bromance, but sadly one of them has a job, and when it comes down to it, it's all about racing, and they're getting a little bit wide, not purposely done, because that is a little bit of a dodgy one because of his tyres. Obviously, he's not liking these tyres at the moment. He does lose the rear end, and he does clip him a little bit, but there's Paul di Resta now, nicely behind him, and he goes for looking for the move. Very eager, Paul di Resta. I've noticed that on this game and my co-op and my career modes. Paul di Resta is always eager for the overtake, and I'm grateful of that. He is a good driver, and I've represented that in his AI character, because he is eager to get overtakes and to prove his position. But it's pretty scary when you're in a Mercedes sandwich with Rosberg in 6th and Hamilton in 8th. In 7th position is Sergio Davilo, a man who's been in the sport for only 17 races. So let's see what happens here as he goes wide on lap 20. Obviously these tyres are definitely dead now, and he's going to have to come in for a pit stop, but there's Lewis Hamilton nice behind him. There's Nico Rosberg, nowhere to be seen really. This is a very open racetrack and a very open race indeed. But he comes into the pits for his third and I believe final pit stop, and then disaster hits. He just doesn't get it right, and look at that. They don't ghost him for that, but they ghost him for hitting a barrier, which makes absolutely no sense, Codemasters. But he's still ahead of Lewis Hamilton. Though it's pretty much set in stone that he's going to lose the position to Hamilton because he's got to change his front wing, but Hamilton also might have some end plate damage if he's lucky, but no, it doesn't look that way. So there's Lewis Hamilton, jumped him in the pit stops after a bit of a dodgy moment there, thanks to a mixture of cold tyres and no steering at all. And then we go, he finally gets the pit exit perfect under the tunnel there. And obviously it's very fitting that Ferrari were to make their decision on their new driver in the place where Ferrari World is held. And well, going into this corner now, 2.3 seconds off Hamilton. This could be interesting. Can he get him? Because this could be a battle for a singular point between these two drivers. Both of them very talented. Hamilton, a world champion. Davilo looking to be a future world champion. On lap 22 there, Lewis Hamilton goes wide and rejoins very late. And Davilo there braking very late, almost destroying his car and Hamilton's. But Hamilton there really should have let him have the position in a good nature, because Hamilton has definitely dangerously rejoined the circuit. circuit, and maybe he will get a penalty in this race. But on lap 24 now, a nice actually we'll say it's a 4-car train, because Sergio is just about to join the pack. Pastor Maldonado, Lewis Hamilton, Felipe Massa and Sergio Davilo. And behind Davilo we've got Jenson Button, so about 5 cars all battling for what looks to be 8th position. So now, there he is, and Lewis Hamilton once again runs wide, but Davilo learns from his mistakes in the previous time around, a lap prior to this, and he gets a position off Lewis Hamilton, clinching a point now. And will Pastor Maldonado be holding up any cars? Well, Pastor Maldonado gets passed by Massa, and that was a little bit of a weird one. Cold tyres, Maldonado on fresher tyres, on a fresher set of rubber. And lap 28 now, Fernando Alonso comes across the line and wins the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix here in Ferrari World. Probably the second most important race for any Ferrari driver is Abu Dhabi, because there are many Ferrari workers that work at Ferrari World, obviously. And for Ferrari themselves, it's a great win, obviously, in a difficult season where they haven't been battling, but Nico Rosberg and Sebastian Vettel have been the only 2 drivers that look likely, and we'll be keeping an eye on who wins that very shortly. But Sergio Davilo comes across the line in 10th position behind Felipe Massa, so that's not going to help his job. But you see, down below, we've got Felipe Massa down in 12th position. So, something's obviously happened, and he has indeed. For some reason, Felipe Massa gets a 20-second time penalty, but Lewis Hamilton gets nothing for rejoining the track dangerously. On the overall standings of things, Nico Rosberg finished in 5th position, Sebastian Vettel in 3rd position. So Vettel gaining a few crucial points in his search for the World Championship once again. And Nico Rosberg, most of the world is behind him, hoping that he can possibly score some more important points. And now we have Sebastian Vettel 6 points ahead of Rosberg, and well, Fernando Alonso 27 points with 2 races to go, still saying, hey, I'm here, I can still get it if I can score some crucial points going into the next one. And well, there's no longer a rivalry button over Felipe Massa. What does that mean? Have we done what we need to do? Who's going to get the job offer? As he's just shaking his head to the team, he just wants to get out of there and get to find out if he's been given a job offer. He doesn't care about the celebrations. Yes, well done, you finished in 9th position, you would have been 10th, but obviously Massa having some disappointment. We go to the hub, there's a contract offer. Who's it from? It's from Ferrari. Ferrari have indeed offered Sergio Davilo a job. Hey Sergio, it seems we have impressed Ferrari. Well, I would have to agree, he's impressed Ferrari, so he has a choice. He has a choice of either going to Sauber or going to Stefano Dominicali, and being Ferrari's 2nd driver and possibly challenging for a world title. Will he go? Find out at the end of the season in Davilo's journey. Guys, thank you for watching. My name is OTG. I hope you've enjoyed this. Obviously, you might have seen a little pop-up to subscribe and like. If you're new, please subscribe. It'd be greatly appreciated. If this is your first episode, go and check out the whole playlist. Next season, I'm thinking about doing probably 50%, 100% only. But guys, I'll see you very shortly for some more news, views and information. And of course, Sergio Davilo's journey to possibly, at the moment, it looks like Ferrari, but only if he accepts the offer. Bye guys.